In the first video of this course, we completed the very basics of topology, which was also the first section of this Blender topology course. After that, in the next two chapters of this series, we focused on creating a basic 3D model of a sci-fi pistol, and during that process, we understood about a lot of different methods and techniques that are relevant in topology and hard surface modeling. And today in this video, we'll be completing with the section 2 of this course because we'll finalize the 3D model of the sci-fi pistol and apply some materials to it. So to begin with, we'll first model the trigger and the trigger guard in order to complete the modeling part. So for this, I'll first add a plane in the scene. So press Shift A, then go to Mesh and select the plane. Now rotate this in the Y-axis by 90 degrees. Let's also move it in the forward direction in the X-axis. After this, I'll move it and place it over here. Now switch to the edit mode. Let's scale it down like this, and let's also scale it up in the Z-axis to increase its length. Now I'll place it over here, then select these two vertices on the bottom. Let's rotate them slightly like this, adjust everything properly, and after that I'll press E to extrude it in the Y-axis like this. Currently it looks very simple, and moreover it's simply a plane, which means that we need to select all the vertices or the faces and extrude them like this to give them some thickness. After this, to fix its position properly, I'll move it in the X-axis like this and place it in the middle. Moving ahead, I'll change the angle, and over here I think that we should make it slightly thicker, so I'll press A to select all and we'll scale it up in the X-axis. Now to make the trigger of the gun, I'll again press Shift A to add another plane while being in the edit mode, then move it up in the Z-axis because it automatically gets placed at the 3D cursor. After this, press G to move it and place it near the trigger guard. I'll rotate it in the Y-axis by 90 degrees. Let's also scale it down, and now by modifying the position of the vertices of this plane, we'll change its shape into something which looks similar to a trigger. So with these two vertices selected, I'll first scale them down, then rotate them slightly, press E to extrude them, scale them down again, and just like this, you can add loop cuts by pressing Ctrl R and then add even more details for a better geometry. But for now, I think that it looks perfect. So with the cursor over the trigger, I'll press L to select all the linked vertices. After this, I'll press E to extrude it like this, and similarly, I'll also do the same thing on this other side. And with this, we now have the trigger and the trigger guard ready for the sci-fi pistol. If you want, you can make any changes in the size or the details of any part in order to get more realism or a better geometry. Now to join this with the main 3D model of the sci-fi pistol, I'll select both of them and then press Ctrl J to join them together. After this, if you want, you can just go to the edit mode, select any edges and apply the bevel tool in order to give the object a more rounded and a natural appearance. You can do the same thing with the trigger also. For example, over here I will select all these edges in the middle and will press Ctrl B to apply the bevel tool. And with this, we finally have the 3D model of the sci-fi pistol completely ready, and so we'll be moving forward to giving some materials and textures to this model. So for this, let's first switch to the render preview mode, then from here turn off the scene lights and the scene world, and let's also change the render engine from Eevee to cycles. After this, I'll change this window at the bottom from the timeline editor to the shader editor. So click on this icon and select the shader editor. Now click on the new button, and now we have to download some materials that we can apply on the sci-fi pistol. So I've opened this website polyheaven.com for downloading some textures, and over here I'll search for some metal textures, and this will display all these materials and textures that you can download and then use for your 3D model. For example, suppose I want this particular texture to be applied on the 3D model, so I'll just select it, then click on this download button, and yes, don't forget to extract the zip folder containing this texture. After this, we'll return back to the Blender software, and in the shader editor, simply select the principal BSDF node, the left mouse button click and use the shortcut Ctrl-Shift-T, and then browse for the particular location where you saved and unzipped the folder, then select it, go to texture folder, select all these images or the files and press enter to confirm. And just by doing this, you will have the texture applied on the 3D model. However, just like in this case, if your texture is also not looking perfect, then you might need to make some changes in the edit mode. So press tab to enter the edit mode, then press A to select all, go to the UV menu on the top, then unwrap and select Smart UV project. Then click on unwrap, and by doing this, the way the texture is applied will be much better than before. Now moving ahead, we can even create different materials or textures for different parts of the pistol. For example, suppose I want to have a different texture for this lower part. So to do this thing, I'll go to the material properties, create a new material like this, then go to the edit mode, deselect everything, then with the cursor over the lower part, I'll press the L key to select it, and then in the material properties, click on the assign button. After this, we now need to download another texture for this lower part. So I've again opened this website from where I'll select this particular texture with the name metal plate and will download it from here. Now once you have extracted or unzipped the folder, simply return back to the Blender software, then select the principal BSDF again and use the shortcut Ctrl+Shift+T to get to choose that particular texture which you want to apply, then open it, select all the images or the files and press enter to confirm. After this, you might be thinking that why exactly are these faces on the bottom black in color, and the reason for this is that the faces over here are overlapping with the existing faces, and whenever this happens, you can easily solve it by switching to the edit mode. After this, deselect everything, then with the face select mode enabled, select the faces which are causing the problem, and after selecting all of them together, slightly extrude them by pressing E. After this, return back to the object mode, and with this, we now have the texture applied to all the faces properly. Moving ahead, I'll go to the edit mode, press L with my cursor over this lower part, then go to UV, unwrap and smart UV project. After this, return back to the object mode. So to conclude, you can apply any material that you want by simply downloading the texture, adding it in the shader editor and then applying it on any part of the 3D model. If you want, you can keep the same texture applied to the entire model by simply pressing A to select all and then clicking on the assign button, and this will apply the same material on the entire model. So you're totally free to choose any materials or textures for your 3D model. But for now, to finalize this model, I'll simply select this cylinder that we used to add some details, and then I'll apply a simply metallic material on the selected part. So I have deselected everything, then with my cursor over here, I'll press L to select it, then go to the material properties, create a new material like this, then click on the assign button, and I'll also change this window to the rendered preview mode. Now I'll increase the metallic value to something like 0.8 or 0.9 and bring down the roughness to around 0.2 or 0.3. After this, you can adjust the brightness of the color to give it a slightly darker appearance so that it looks like steel or aluminium, and with this, I now think that the required material for this specific part looks completely perfect. Now moving ahead, the next thing that I'll do is to select the trigger handle and all these slight details that we have added here, and will then apply a decent black color material. So for this, let's go to the edit mode, deselect everything, then with the cursor over the trigger handle and the trigger, press L, and similarly, I'll also select these parts of the pistol. After this, go to the material properties, create a new material and click on the assign button. Now I'll return back to the rendered preview mode and will change the base color to black, then bring down the roughness value to somewhere around 0.2 in order to give it a smooth and reflecting appearance. Then to finalize, you can keep the metallic value to somewhere around 0.2, 0.3, or maybe even change the roughness value depending upon the materials for your 3D model. But for now, I personally think that our pistol is looking complete and perfect with all the materials applied. For example, the rusted iron material on the pistol gives it an old or a vintage look, then the black and the white parts of the model again provide a very neat and decent finishing. Then if you want, you can switch to the edit mode and select these faces on the corners, and if you want, you can apply some other material, let's say the black colored material, by clicking on the assign button. And after that, if I switch back to the object mode, then this is how the final version of the pistol is now looking. And with this, we also arrive to the end of this video and also to the end of the section number 2 of this course. Till now, we have covered the very basic understanding of topology, which we covered in the section 1, and then in the second section, we covered a number of different techniques and methods related to topology and hard surface modeling while creating this 3D model of the Sci-fi pistol. And from the next video onwards, we'll be starting with the section number 3 of this course, where we'll understand about some more topology fundamentals, some more techniques, tools, and a lot more. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel, press that notification bell so that you can get timely updates about the upcoming videos. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.